September 2nd, 1792, terror has struck the city of Paris. France is on the brink of a second revolution. Its people are worried and scared. Constitutional monarchy, established in 1791, has done little to stabilize the fragile nation and defend the efforts of the revolution at this point. What was once a mere threat of war with the Prussians now becomes a reality, as the Prussians close in on Paris in the summer of 1792. Terrified, Parisians turn to their militia to protect them. However, when news gets out that King Louis XVI vetoed the necessary legislation to allow the troops into the city, supposedly to protect an ancient tradition, Parisian fear turns to outrage. Immediately, people begin to think that the king not only condones the prospect of war with Prussia, but is actively involved in making it happen.
Their sentiments are only strengthened when the Brunswick Manifesto is issued, vowing that the Prussians will crush the revolution if the royal family is injured in any way. Animosity grows even greater when correspondences between Queen Marie Antoinette and her brother, the ruler of Prussia, containing important French military secrets and strategies, are revealed.
Parisian outrage accumulates on August 10, 1792, when crowds of 40 to 50,000 stormed the Tuileries Palace, killing numerous Swiss guards and damaging property in the process. Their efforts met with success when the Legislative Assembly decreed the temporary suspension of the king and declared the establishment of a new government, the National Convention, charged with the creation of a new constitution.
Such changes, however, did not stop the Prussians from advancing toward Paris, intensifying counter-revolutionary fear. This fear, as well as rumors that refractory priests being held in various prisons were plotting against France and involved in counter-revolutionary action, provided the necessary fuel for the rise of the September Massacres. In early September, Parisians, mainly sans-culottes, rose into a mob and rioted in the streets, forcibly dragging refractory priests as well as other prisoners from their cells and brutally executing them under the command of kangaroo courts. Over 1,200 were executed, many innocent of any counter-revolutionary activity.
Je m'appelle Cosette et je veux vous raconter mon histoire. Les massacres de septembre étaient horribles. Un jour, en cachant de les sans-culottes, j'ai vu quelque chose qui a changé mon opinion sur la Révolution. Les sans-culottes étaient en train de tuer beaucoup de personnes brutalement dans les rues de Paris, quand ils ont vu une femme, terrifiée comme tout. Ils l'ont forcée de crier « Vive la nation !» et quand elle a refusé, ils l'ont forcée de monter une masse de cadavres. Ils ont essayé, encore une fois, de la forcer de crier « Vive la nation !» mais elle a encore refusé. Les sans-culottes l'attaquaient et tiraient sur ses vêtements. Elle a tombé et puis, ils l'ont tuée. Ah, c'était si horrible. J'essayais d'échapper, mais j'ai m'évanouie. Quand je me suis réveillée, j'ai vu la tête de la femme, couverte par du sang. Quelqu'un m'a dit qu'ils allaient laver la tête, faire boucler les cheveux, mettre sur un pic et l'amener devant les fenêtres du temple. Oh, quelle cruauté inutile!
The September Massacres, where extreme violence and blatant injustice were upheld in the name of the Republic, would only be the beginning of the barbarity that would soon sweep France.
In late September, the convention would hold its first elections, and supported by the sans-culottes, radical and revolutionary-minded Jacobins would dominate the new government. Under their influence, as well as their leader, de Robespierre, violence would become the norm, a justified way to protect the efforts of the revolution and the Republic of Virtue. Clear through revolutionary George Danton's words, "In my opinion, the way to stop the enemy is to terrify the royalists. Audacity, more audacity, and always greater audacity."
With the rise of the Committee on Public Safety and revolutionary tribunals, countless unjust deaths would occur in what would become known as the infamous Reign of Terror.
As professor of European history, I always make a point to teach my students about the historiography of an event, or how historians have viewed that event in the past. Edmund Burke, who was a contemporary of the Revolution, saw it with disdain, believing the Revolution proved the failure of liberal ideologies and democracy. In light of the September Massacres, he was astounded by the absolute violence and bloodshed that proved to him how great of a failure the French Revolution was. Conversely, the Marxist or classical view of the French Revolution saw it as a transition in human history. This view is held by Georges Lefebvre, who proclaimed the revolution as a victory of free market enterprise and liberal ideologies. With this view, the September Massacres would exemplify this transition from aristocratic power to power of the people. The more modern revisionist approach focuses on objectivity when analyzing history. Revisionists, like William Doyle, would focus on all aspects of the September Massacre. They would emphasize the many factors that caused the September Massacres, such as the absolute fear of the Prussian and Austrian threat of war. As modern historians, my colleagues and I use the French Revolution and events such as the September Massacres as examples for modern revolutions, so that the same mistakes are not repeated and unnecessary bloodshed is avoided.